Hello everyone. Today in this particular video, we'll try to understand uh, how we can plan it with the particular use case and case study so that you will understand at the high level how you have to think about it, how you can plan about it, and all those things. Okay. So imagine there is a library, right? Imagine a library where each department has its own section. Okay, each department has its own sections, right? Let's consider it as section 1, section 2, section 3, section n. Okay, so consider it like that. All right, so this is each department has each section. All right, so shelves for organizing books, and each department has a folders like we how we can consider is like folders like shelves. All right, folders called as shelves, and it has a documents something called as books, documents something called as books. All right, something called as books. Okay, folders called as shelves, document as a books. All right, so people can quickly find what they are looking for, right? People can quickly find the books what people can find what they are looking for. Okay, so this is what. So so when we are creating, understand the one thing, folks. How will you create such system to design this particular system design? Okay, what will be your thought process? First of all, I will give you a time for planning the library. How will you plan this particular library? How will you plan the library? How will you plan the library? First of all, no idea. So let's think about it. Okay. So planning a library, that I mean to say is, first we need to have a DB structure, database structure, right? Like database structure, don't think of it as like very complex, right? You can think of like Excel sheets, right? Excel sheets, PDF documents. Like how will you structure to build this particular system basically? That may be any file, that may be a text file, that can be how you can take it to plan it. Okay. So now if I wanted to do it, so what will be your thought process? I will be gonna tell you, like bring onto the paper, list it down, what the things that we need a system. So first we need a system to store the information in organized way, information in organized way, in organized way, right? We need a information in organized way. There is a number one particular thing. So each department, so this is a department, right? So this department folders and documents are easy. Like you have to think about ki how to store the information in organized way. Organized way, that basically means how the department folders and documents will be going to store it, right? This things has to be come into the picture. How will you store this department folders and the documents? That is what you have to think of. Okay, first number one. So number one, you have to plan the library, that is nothing but database structure first of all. Okay, so this is number one. Number two, you have to think about ki how can I build this, how we retrieve the documents. Department, see, design how we retrieve the documents. How to retrieve this document, how to retrieve the document, how to retrieve the document. That is data retrieval system, we can call it as. So that is nothing but data retrieval system, that is DRS, not Dhoni review system. It is data retrieval system. Okay, so data retrieval system. We plan how to retrieve the information from our library. So how to retrieve, how to retrieve, how to retrieve information from library. information from library. Okay, so how to retrieve that information from the library? So like in a smooth way and efficient way. So this involves how the data flows when someone requests the documents. So someone requests, right? When someone requests, how the data flows. How data flows. If someone, let's suppose admin requests or user requests or manager request, how the data will be going to flow. How the data will be going to flow. That is what the answer is all about here. So which helps avoid delays or confusion. Okay. So third thing you need to consider is write clear simple instruction for a system. Okay, write clear simple instructions, simple instruction. That is nothing but clean code. That is what the thing we are talking about, the clean code. Okay, you write the clear and simple instructions. Okay, this instruction tells the system, okay, what simple instruction, what it should do, what to do. Simple instruction means what to do in this particular to do that. If someone needs to add or change something in a future, they can do without disrupting the system. If someone wanted to add a department, if someone had to add a department, what they should do? Will it, if someone adds or change something, so what should happen? Change something, right? So this has to be take care of the things. Write a clear, simple instruction. That is what I wanted to say. So now next thing you need to think of is like fourth you need to think about is like uh, build the information desk, nothing but like API endpoint. Information desk is nothing but an API endpoint which I am talking about it. Okay, so API endpoint, how you should think about it. So like API endpoint which have a virtual information desk where user asks for a documents. Let's understand like this basically. This any users will ask for a document. Okay, users what they will do. Users I mean to say is specifically whether I'm not talking about RBSA module. Okay, users I'm not doing any particular thing. What they do as an admin, what I do, I will not going to see as a bigger picture in the backend RBS is happening. No, what user can do, they ask for a documents, which department they want, API retrieves and organize all the relevant documents, displaying them into the clear format. Okay, they ask for a document. Okay, they ask for a particular, let's say, that this is a user, this is a department name, he is concerned to the serendipity, he will get the document relevant to that. This is what a simple process should be there. Why we require, we don't know. Okay, we can access to the system, we should have a clear DB structure first. Okay, later on RBS is nothing but it is just attaching to your whole DB structure basically, right? You are giving the permission first, you build the system first, then try to see the RBAC first, then, right? Have a clear understanding. So now let's get dive into the technical details. It was just little bit about non-technical part. Let's get dive into the technicalities so that you will understand a lot technicalities. Now, so let's get dive into the technical details. In the technical terms, planning the DB structure. Planning is nothing but DB structure we will be going to talk about, like how the database structure means deciding how to organize your data for a data document retrieval system. We need a database, right? We need a database to store this all information, DB structure. So what should be the DB structure all about? So this will make a greater sense out of it. So you have to think about like this. So first is like departments. You need to think about the departments, right? let's say departments, you have to think about department, each departments like HR, finance, or anything like it may be department you can think about like tech, it maybe about analytics. So maybe sub departments also may come. So think about like department means we are thinking about this particular thing, analytics. So HR, finance, tech, tech in the tech something, everything will come out of it. So this is what we will be going to think about it. So then you have to think about key folders. Folders, how we can think about it. Folders. So each department will store about different types of documents like policies, procedures, like something like that, right? So each department will have the folder to store different types of documents like policies, procedures, right? So these are the things we can have it. Like this kind of a like a DB structure at the whole of the system. Like we can think of like this basically, right? Folders is the thing. Third thing is subfolders subfolders subfolders. So what this does is that subfolder mean within each folder there may be a subfolder for further classification, categorization. Folder inside the folder there will be some categorization, right? Categorization inside that there will be categorization, folders, subfolders. Then there will be a documents, right? There may be a documents, maybe like each document like understand like policy documents like policy under 2023 MD 2023.md. So that may be something, maybe document something like this link to the maybe link to the folder and department, that may be linked to folder and as well as department. Is it or not? Is it right or wrong? Folder and department it will be linked, right? So this file may link to folder and department, right? Maybe the folder or subfolder and department, folder, subfolder and department basically, right? So these things you have to think about it. Let's take an example. Let's I talked about only the DB structure. So let's take an example, so that you will understand what how this particular system we can think of. Let's say, let's take an example. We are building a table based structure, right? Understand like there is a like department table, okay? There is a department table, depth table, and there is a folders table, okay? Folders table, and there is another table called as documents table. All right. So this is the three tables that we'll be going to have it, right? So these are the three tables like folders table, documents table, and folder table, documents table. This is the three things we at the first we can think of, right? So what we can have it like, we can have it like ID and the department name, right? ID and the department name. Basically two things. No, I drawn it a little bit ID and department. Sorry folks, like I made it mistake. Sorry for that. So ID and department name, right? So department tables will be having the ID and department name, right? So another thing is folders table. In the folders tables will be what? Folder name and linked by the department ID. So this is instead of department, it will be a folder name, right? Folder name and department ID, right? Is it correct, right? So department ID will be there. So are you guys understanding? So how can we think of in the department table, we'll be having a ID and department name. In folder table, we'll be having a department ID and folder name. And in the documents table, we will be having a document name linked by a folder ID. Document name, by a folder ID. Okay, so this is what we will we can think of, right? So folder ID we can think of it like this. So like this is what usually the structure if user requests document from this particular department, let's say HR, right? HR. In this is a particular department name. Like there is a this is called something called as one department ID. The folder something called as HR, some sub finance. I'm just giving an example. So it will retrieve it from this department, from this particular ID, from this thing. So we can quickly correct the folders and retrieve the relevant documents basically, right? So this is what the overall folder structure we can whenever user requests particular document. So let's suppose when the user fetch like file1.md, if it is asking about this particular file, he will search about this particular department. He will search it. This is a folder, and this is he will be going to retrieve that particular folder structure and retrieve it. Right? Is it not relevant documents? You will be going to retrieve it. So we understood overall how the table structure will be coming to all together. Then now we'll try to understand how we can design this data retrieval system basically. So let's get dive into it. So this is altogether very long video, folks. You will understand a lot of things here. You will gaining a lot of things here. So we will be going to design a data retrieval system. Okay, we'll be designing a data retrieval system, that is DRS. There is not Dhoni review system, it is data retrieval system. Okay, so let's get dive into it. Data retrieval system. Data retrieval system. Okay, so like workflow that efficient gather information from a database. Gather info from a from database, right? I will writing as a DB. Okay, gathering the information from a DB. So how we can use this sequence diagram, right? So step one, right? There is a API receives the request, right? Understand like this. There is an API. There is a user, right? It is a user. Step one, what you have to think about it. Step one, whenever you are designing a any data retrieval system, right? First, you have to think about API receives the requests, receives a request, right? Receives the requests from a user, right? Like understand like this. Whenever user request for a API, right? This API to viewer documents, right? Viewer documents, viewer documents by department, view docs by department. You have to think about the first step one. Step two, we have to think about step two. Step two. So first thing, he will send a query to by department, okay, to retrieve the documents by department. Second, step two, when API, when this is sends the query, right? When they have sent the uh, query, so it will be asking all the folders, right? It will be asking all folders and document associated, asking all the folders associated associated with requested department requested department. So this will be the step 2. Okay, step 1, step 2, and step 3 will be, what will be the step 3? The database, what this DB will be response, this DB responds with all folders and subfolders, all folders and subfolders.